I guess I will have to chopped off. Huh? So let's fix it. Sorry. Maybe that'll be better. Let's see how this looks. Is that better? I guess that's a little bit better, huh? So, hey, everybody. I guess you're just going to have to deal with my head being cut off a little. I guess I could scoot back and say, hey. Or, really, I could just scoot up. And then you can see me even better there. So, hey, everybody. What's up, Jules? Julia Rose. Hi. Thank you so much for being here today. It's it's been a wonderful Wednesday. I've had a pretty good day. My day started off a little, I was feeling a little crappy this morning. And I find like, especially because I've been wearing Moldavite, I've been working with Moldavite again. And I found that like, especially when I'm wearing the Moldavite too, I really have a hard time in the dream world, and there's just like a lot going on in my sleep, and it, to the point to where it really does feel like I'm living two like different lives, like I'm and doing all these things, and it like bleeds over. Especially like the first few hours after I've woken up and everything, I have a hard time kind of coming out of that dreamscape reality and into this one. So I kind of had one of those going on this morning, but I'm all good, and everything is good, so everything is beautiful. Hey, Wayne Wallace, I'm doing well, and I hope you are too. And hey, the Hermit, what's up? Let's get a little bit of aura cleansing, some Florida water to it. Let's get a little bit of that. Because you can never cleanse your aura enough. And keeping your aura nice and strong is very, very, very important. It's like not only like keeping your vibration high, but also keeping a strong aura and strengthening that aura. That's one of the biggest things that I found, like, especially since like, being sober now, because, when I was having a really hard time with alcohol, I can really tell now, like, what alcohol will do, especially when you drink it in excess. It really seriously does weaken your aura tremendously. And that just makes it like prime picking for people to mess with you, for people to use spell work to really get in there a little bit deeper and start to use that energy and that current against you. So I would really highly advise, avoid, certain substances or any substance in moderation is okay. For the most part, but this is anything that you're doing to where it is, and where you are inebriated, especially if you're inebriated, like, on a consistent basis, your aura is really going to take a huge hit. So of course, sobering up is one of the first things that you can do to help improve your aura health. But also you can use crystals. I really love amethyst, and amethyst is something that I really resonate with a lot. And so I really specifically like amethyst, and it really helps me a lot, as far as to kind of keep me calm and balanced. And I also do use it for healing too. And then quartz, of course, will just amplify the power and energy of any working, or help to also raise your vibration. It can also help with a little aura cleansing too. Salt baths are great for cleansing your aura, but I would say that I have found, like, the number one thing for aura health and to strengthen your aura overall would be to love other people and to do good things for other people, to do nice things for other people. Just spreading love and propagating love in general is going to be like the the very very best way. So energy work also helps a lot too. And this whole like podcast is not just going to be about auras and things like that, but I just kind of wanted to get into that in the beginning here, just because I was promoting a little cleansing there, and so wanted to mention it. Hey Adam, what's up? Friar Peso, what's up? So Adam says, is it possible to work with angels to give an aura of lust? Maybe. I know that you could definitely work with demons for that. I'm not sure. I don't really have a whole lot of experience like working with angels, like specifically like in a magical way. I mean, I've worked with Raphael some, but that it's something I want to get into and delve into. But I really don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of angelic energy or angel that you could work with for lust, but maybe not. I don't know. I do not know on that one. What's up, Dice Controller 187? So Dice Controller says, what's the difference in your succubus ritual and your companion spirit ritual? Oh, it's the same thing. It's just not worded in the. It's just the way I have it worded on the website. I should just call it what it is, but it's just I have it listed as spirit companion on the website. And speaking of which, I wanted to mention my website is getting ready to go under a major overhauling. I'm just going to have somebody do it and make it awesome, because I did that one myself and I didn't do half bad, but there's a lot of things on there that are like incomplete, and there's like things on there that don't have prices and stuff because I couldn't figure out how to do this and that, and I just need to have somebody do it. So there's going to be a lot of new rituals that I want to add on there too. And there's amulets and talismans available, as well as the 3-day boot camp in the Allegheny Mountains of Virginia, which is super freaking sweet. That's on there, but there's no listing for it or a way that you can book it yet, because I got to fix the website. But with that being said, and thank you for your question, Dice Controller, I've had my prices pretty consistent at where they're at for the last like 3 years, which really, in comparison to a lot of other practitioners out there, I have been one hell of a value. And, I think that, my reputation speaks for itself. I've been around for quite a while, and, my success rate is very, 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 very good. I mean, of course, I'm not perfect, and, neither is any other sorcerer out there, but, my feedback has been great, and I do have some feedback and testimonial videos that I'm going to be putting out there. But what I'm trying to get at is that if you've been wanting to work with me, if you've been thinking about it, now's your chance to do it, because prices are getting ready to go up. As soon as I get my website fixed, it's going to be quite a bit more, and rightfully so. I deserve it. My work is worth it. So if you want to get in on it while it's cheap, you should think about it in the next 60 days, I would say, because after the website's been fixed, then the prices are going to go up, and it is what it is. But anyway, Vishal Borisha, hey bro, what's up, Keenan? What's up, and Banana? Okay, so Adam says, so tell me, which spirits have you used to give you an aura of lust? Can you tell me if others were interested in when you did energy work for that? Yeah, I mean, I would be working with either Lilith or Asmodeus for that. Now, when you say aura of lust, that's something that you can certainly achieve, through just like petitioning spirits and energy work. But the best surefire way, I would say, to get an aura of lust, so to speak, would be a direct binding with an incubi or succubi. So an incubus or succubus binding would be what you would be wanting to go for, because then you would have that pretty much 24/7, like I do. So yeah, you can have that if you want that. So that would be what would help you with that. So Vishal Barcina, how do you get consistent results in magic and how can one get the same? Okay, so it's like anything else. Um, it's very simple, but overcomplicated at the same time because we overcomplicate things and we have lives to live and that kind of stuff. Um, you really have to just plug yourself into it. Like you have to give it your time and your attention. Sometimes figuring out where to exactly start can be tough. For me, it was just watching a lot of videos. It wasn't reading a lot of books. I've always been really tapped into the spirit world. And so I was really intuitively guided. And I would suggest that you do the same, is to really allow your if you want to call it your higher self, or particular spirits to guide you. So if you have like one particular spirit that you're interested in, like let's say Lucifer, for example, I would concentrate my efforts on making a connection with Lucifer. And then once you've done that, then Lucifer will assist you in an magical initiation process, which you will begin to kind of just like inherently feel what you need to do, how you need to live your life, what you need to do magically. Establishing those connections with spirits is for me an important one, and it's something that people I feel have greatly overcomplicated because they really do feel like it's supposed to be this crazy thing that it's not. Typically, I mean, you can have experiences where you will have a full physical manifestation of the spirit, but that's going to be, I don't want to say 1 in a million, but it's going to be very rare, and it's very subtle. All of these things, they are spiritual forces in the physical plane are subtle, and they're going to be subtle. So these things are subtle. So you do have to fine tune your psychic senses and skills in order to be able to communicate and to make sense of these things. But can everyone do that? Yes, everyone can do that. Everyone is born psychic, I believe, but you have these filters that are put into place. And I know other practitioners have talked about this too, like on the VK. Johanna has talked about the psychic filter and that kind of thing. And I do think that for a lot of us, it is just a matter of breaking down that psychic filter in order to be able to do some of the things that we want to be able to do. But like anything else, I think it's like to be successful with it, it's really just going to be plugging yourself in, and we know where attention goes, energy flows. So it just requires your time and attention. That's the biggest thing, and making it a part of your life. And then another thing too is like not like lusting over the results. You got to do the working, and and be confident in it, of course, but don't like obsess over, is it working? Is it working? When is it going to happen? When is it going to manifest? Da, 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 da. Because, in most cases, it's not going to manifest the way that you expect it to manifest. And it's not going to manifest when you expect it to, exactly in most cases. So you just have to like do the ritual and go on with your life. Move on to something else. Focus on, some other things, but don't focus on trying to force something to happen after you did a ritual. Just let things happen the way they need to. The only thing that you would need to do, of course, if it's a money working or something of that nature, is advertise more, put yourself out there more. Make it as easy as you can for the magic to meet you halfway. Also, so you're not really. But in that case, it's not like you're expecting the magic to do all the work. You know that it's helping you do what you need to do, but you also need to have your ass in gear and be doing the normal everyday things that you do living your life to enhance the working. If that makes sense. I think I went around on a tangent there a little bit. But hey, from India as well. Um, I'm good, Anna. How are you? And Visha, yeah, I think he's doing good. I think he is doing great. I haven't heard from him, but I have no idea what's going on with any of it. I have no idea. Thanks, Anna. Anna says, to be honest, that I should change my prices ASAP because I'm worth it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Dexter, what's up, man? Hey, buddy. And Adam, a direct binding to an Incubus or Succubus. Yikes. What if they screw me over? Well, that's a good question. I mean, these particular spirits that I conjure through Lilith, they're not having like a mentality of wanting to screw you over by any means. These spirits are spirits that are interested in making a long-term committed relationship with you and experiencing life through you and with you, not to hurt you, not to screw you over. But I do have protection that is included in that ritual. There is a nullification clause that the spirit agrees to up front before the binding takes place. And so, if for whatever reason, and I've had some clients that have wanted to enforce the nullification, like maybe 3 or 4 people I can think of off the top of my head. But that is in place so that they perform the nullification ritual and the spirit departs, and there's no problem, there's no issue. It's like it was never even there to begin with. So you don't have to worry about these types of things with this particular type of working. There are spirits out there that are like what I would call like wandering astral incubi and succubi. It's like a totally different type of spirit altogether than what I'm working with. These spirits don't want to make any type of relationship with you. They do just want to get some sexual energy from you, and then they move on, and that's it. And that's really all that is. But that's not what we're dealing with here. Vallis of darkness and light. Hello to you too. How do you pass a competitive examination when you are not prepared at all? Is there a ritual that you suggest to clear this exam, because this exams are really tough? Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, to help you pass it. I mean, maybe you can, maybe like you could try to do a ritual to cause something to happen to buy you some time, like maybe with like King Paimon or Belial. That would maybe be what I would go for. I mean, there are some goetic spirits that can certainly help you with academics, for sure. I'm not sure which one I would go to right off the bat. I would look in the Goetia and see if there are. I mean, I know there are some that are geared towards certain academics in particular, like sciences and mathematics and things like that. So I would maybe look there. That would be my advice to you, to either try to delay it a little bit, or if you want a spirit to try to help you through it. But the best thing, of course, the answer would have been to get prepared for it like you should have, as you know. But now that we're in this position, that I would say to go to Paimon or Belial maybe. I'm not familiar with Baal Cadmon's books. I can't answer that one for you. I'm sorry. Okay, so Dice Controller asking, what is your connection to ritual to Lucifer result in? Okay, so I do have MetaLink rituals on my website. There's going to be more MetaLinks offered too when I do have the new site up. For right now, I believe I have Belial, Asmodeus, Lucifer, and La Santa Muerte. And what this is this establishes a very, very, very solid connection to this spirit, so that they will then take you through their initiation process to become very, very, very close with them. So if it's a spirit that you're interested in working with that you haven't worked with yet, this is the perfect ritual to introduce them into your life. Or if it's a spirit that you have already been working with, this will certainly help you to enhance that relationship and to take it even further. So that's what this is designed to do, really, is to like become as intimately acquainted and to have this spirit's presence in your life, fully, without any restraint whatsoever. And so like a lot of people want to just jump into like making pacts with spirits and things of that nature before they even really know the spirit or have worked with the spirit and that kind of thing. And I found that, you really can certainly achieve just as good of results as a pack working with just establishing a solid meta link with whatever spirit that you want to work with. So that, really you don't have any type of crazy harsh requirements or things that could go wrong, really, or things that could go bad. So it's more of just establishing a very strong, intimate relationship. Yeah. Dexter, okay, shoot me an email. How do you connect to Lucifer? So for me with Lucifer, I would say the first thing to do would be to get acquainted with his sigil and to print that sigil out and to gaze into it, to focus on that sigil, call out his name, start to feel a connection to that symbol, to that sigil, which is this sigil, this symbol right here that you see on my arm. His N is also available. I have an audio that has his demonic N in that too, and that can certainly help to establish a connection and to begin to feel his energy. Because like any spirit, once you begin to work with them intimately, then you will know their energy. You'll know when they're around when you haven't called them. And then in most cases, you're going to have the realization that they've always been there, because once you get familiar with that energy, especially with his, for me anyways, it was like, whoa, like I've been feeling that my entire life. That is really crazy. Just didn't know what it was, But yeah, hell yeah, Dice. What's up, Okami Michelson from South Africa? Wow, so we got South Africa in here. We got India in here. Wow, hell yeah. We got some people from like all over. A nice mix going on. I'm going to I want to show everybody too. So these are the wealth drawing talismans that I've got available on my website. Isn't that freaking pretty dope looking? So they're pewter. And those are made by the Talismancer. Those are available on my website as well. I'm going to clear my head a little bit too. Speaking of Lucifer, I found he led me to a really awesome rock the other night, Lucifer Healing Stone. It's freaking dope. And I've also been working with Lucifer here recently too, and it's something that's going to be on my website very soon. And this is something that like it's been coming about for years, like probably like at least the last 4 years. And for some reason, like I resisted it. I've been resisting a lot of things for a lot of years, especially a lot of spiritual things that like just want to come, and I've been resisting them, and I should just allow them to fucking come and to emanate into the world through me if that's what they want to do. And this Luciferian inspired energy work or Luciferian inspired Reiki is something that I've been working on with Lucifer. And I have 7 symbols so far that have been revealed to me, and each of them do have a very distinct energy signature, and they're all geared towards healing or transmutating certain energies into other energies. So this is going to be something that's going to be like very, very different from like shamanic Reiki or Usai Reiki, or really any other type of energy work that you've ever experienced? I mean, I know there's a lot of modalities out there, and there's tons of people that have downloaded different modalities. I was working with Kraan Solama for a long time, which was the first one that I ever downloaded. But this energy work inspired by Lucifer, I'm really, really excited about, because his energy is very, very healing. And he has like all but insisted to be a part of that in my life. So I'm, humbled by it, of course. And it's something that like I've been resisting for so long that I need to just like allow it to happen and stop being an idiot and be like, no, I just need to let it happen. So, a lot of things in life, especially when you start working with spirits, you're going to see that they're going to kind of insist upon certain things going down and certain things happening. And that they do like help, to help it to where like you're being divinely guided, or make it to where you're being divinely guided. I'm going to have my creep here. So I'm going to do a little bit of this. And I don't know what type it is. This is Kaksanawa. Yeah. I haven't had any rat pay in a minute. That really opens you right up. So this is just like sacred snuff. It's really, really awesome. Ooh. Pretty hardcore though. It's got me tearing up. But you have to do both sides. So let me clear it out a little here. Pardon me. I have some Sananga too. These are drops that you put in your eyes. But I'm not going to do that right now. No. It does help. It's a powerful anesthetic too. It does seem like it definitely like cleanses your eyes very well, but man, it burns so much. Definitely like looking forward to trying this Sananga when I'm sitting with ayahuasca next time. Okay. But anyway, Milton Knowles in Sandwich King. Hey, Milton says, I have arrived and you're all welcome. No need for your thanks. I'm here out of the charity of my heart. Speaking of which, where did I put that jar that contains it? Hey, Milton, what's up? Okay, so Vishal says, let's just say I like a girl and she knows me as well, but we didn't talk for at least 2.5 years. Is there any love spell that can be casted upon her so that she loves me? I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, there's certainly rituals that you can do. I mean, I have one on my website. Sometimes these things, well, I mean, you never know how long it's going to take as far as like for that connection to happen. Usually it's going to take 6 months maybe, especially with somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. But yeah, absolutely. And Anna says that she feels like she should be doing more for all the spirits that are around her and that you should listen to them more. Yeah. And that's the thing too, like listening to the things that they want. Like if they want your house to be cleaner, for example, or if they want like a slice of fruit on their altar, or they want a particular type of incense that they enjoy, things of that nature. And you'll just start to like know these things. Like you'll feel their energy, and then maybe you'll see an image flash in your mind. So then you're using your clairvoyance at that point. Maybe you hear a soft whisper in your ear and actually hear like a voice that's prompting you, and you're using your clairaudience at that point. For me, it's usually images. So it's definitely like a clairvoyant type of communication. But then at the same time too, it's like a just knowing, it's to where I don't know, you just know, it's like a download. So yeah, definitely do whatever you feel like that you need to do to make your environment hospitable to them. Clean and orderly. And I try to keep things as clean and orderly as I can. I'm not always successful with that. Sometimes I'm a slob. And I don't like to be. I like things clean, but sometimes things get a little out of order. But the spirits will definitely let you know. Because I generally do not like that very much. What's up, Jeff? Hey. Oh, thanks, Friar Pestle. Friar Pestle put my website and URL in the chat. So anybody that wants to communicate with me or see what I have to offer or book me for a consultation or a ritual or energy work, that's where you go. Milton asked, what is the most favorite comment that you can think of at the moment of my channel that you got a really nice one yesterday? The nicest one. I mean, I can't think of like the specific one off the top of my head, but I mean, it never gets old when someone tells you that you've like helped change their life. Like that is something like when someone tells you that it's just like, holy crap, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's, because I care, it means the world to me to hear that. So yeah, I would say that would be. And so, the Insane in which King says, your hopes and dreams jar is full, but your achievements jars looks like famine or a vacuum. Well, hey, it's all going to balance out. It will. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to mispronounce your name wrong. I'm just going to call you Darkness and Light so that Basilisk. I'm sorry. I promise you, I wasn't trying to like make fun of you or anything. I just wasn't reading it well. I'm just going to call you Darkness and Light. so I don't mispronounce it. Oh, awesome. I like that, the Hermit. Everyone is an atheist until they clog a toilet in someone else's house. Carl Jung. Yes, I love that. That's nice, huh? Okay, so Adam has a question here. Okay, so when you permeated your aura with lust energy, can you tell me what your interaction with women was like? How often did women approach you? Did they want to sleep with you straight away? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, so I would say, like, with having that succubi energy that's like so intimately intermeshed with me, and that's what happens if you have like a direct binding. You will have that energy as well because that spirit's energy emanates through you. So like a thing that I noticed more after that would be definitely like people will be looking at you all the time. So you'll definitely notice like more men and women just interested in you, looking at you. You can feel like the sexual tension or energy, that will just kind of like automatically happen, and it can kind of get old. Like I'm not trying to be like that, and I know like of course doesn't mean that you're going to be for everyone, and it doesn't mean that like you're going to be like everyone's going to be lusting after you, because like obviously like not everyone's trying to fuck me and not everyone's interested in me. But I will say that a lot of people are, and a lot of people have been. And I've been in that experience a lot with, like I said, both men and women, both. So it's something that you have to just kind of like learn how to navigate and live with, and something that, to like, people can just like automatically get the wrong idea, because your sexual energy will automatically be pretty freaking strong. Like you'll be putting out a pretty strong, almost penetrative and alluring sexual energy that will like lure people in. So if you have a partner too, that's something to be on the lookout for, because you'll still be exuding that energy, and that can get you in trouble even if you don't mean it to or mean for it to happen. Um, but yeah. So it's going to be one of those things where you're just going to notice. You will just notice the way people react to you, the way people treat you will change. It just makes interacting with people and dealing with people in life, generally speaking, a little bit easier. Yes, dice controller. Yep, all of the protection amulets. Each one of those have they. I do a specific ritual for each client that buys one. So I don't do them in a group. I do each one specifically. So there'll be a protection ritual that's done on each and every one of those. So yes, absolutely. Hey, Lucy Bean, what's up? Glad to see you too. Thanks, Friar Pestle. Hell yeah, and yours is treasured too. It's on my altar right over here, because I had to do some things that I did not want to take a chance of it getting messed up. You can see it. It's right there on that little tray. Illuminostic, what's up? Yeah, Crowley did say that, but I didn't follow that advice. But yeah, everybody check out Illuminostic's channel too, and subscribe to his channel also. I think everybody will find a really lot of cool information there that you'll like. And then Vishaw says, what do I know about the Illuminati? Not much, really. I mean, I've been contacted by people that claim to be a part of the Illuminati, and they sent me some literature. They sent me a book. It really never went much further than that. Does it still exist today? I mean, I'm sure there's something. There's some kind of something going on, Illuminati wise. I don't think that is necessarily like what a lot of these rappers and people, like famous people and stuff, like I don't think that. I think that is something even entire, like another type of Illuminati or something too. I mean, I think there's several different ones, but I don't really know much about it. Well, I guess let's just leave it at that. Hey, T man, cool. Get that nap in. Shaner87, oh, glad to see you too. So you were saying you weren't sure if magicians technically take from others when doing magic, and you had this feeling that they did, and kind of always was thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, some people can. I mean, there's magicians that do all kinds of things. That's for sure. Give you some stories of how women approached me and how desperate they were. Oh, I mean, it wasn't really like, I wouldn't say that like I had really like chicks coming up to me and just being like, do me now, like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's probably kind of, maybe that's happened, but it's more along the lines of just, um, whereas maybe people in general, even I'm not even going to say women, people in general really weren't that interested in talking to you or being around you or knowing what you were about or any of that kind of thing. Like all of a sudden that just kind of does a 180, and people are all of a sudden very interested in you and very interested in what you're about, wanting to know more about you, wanting to be close to you, wanting to touch you, wanting to find an excuse to be able to get closer to you or touch you. And then things kind of just build from there. But I mean, it would be online, it would be in public, it would be just kind of anywhere. And even to where, like, if I was driving through a neighborhood in my car, you could see people on the sidewalk looking, to where I'm like, it's strange. It's almost like, it's like you put off this like little sense, and their little spidey sense picks up the ping, and you're pinging their pinger, and they're like, oh, ho, ho, hey, hey, So it kind of that's what I would say more than anything. It helps you to like put off this frequency, so it changes your frequency and your vibration. So that is definitely the best way to put it. Hey, Mercury Chan, what's my daily magical routine? That's a good question. And because I really don't have a set in stone daily magical routine, and that's something that I really need to establish. I have had them in the past, which mainly included meditation and energy work. I've never gotten into like doing the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram daily. That's something that I do want to start to incorporate into like a daily magical routine. And like that's been the problem with me, I think, in my progression overall, just in life in general and everything else. I mean, not that I'm not progressing in life, I'm progressing in life fine, but I could be doing much better if I incorporated routine into my life. And it's so crazy that you asked that question, because that was something, and with this Lucifer stone right here, that was like a big message that before I sat down to do this live stream, Lucifer was like, don't forget to mention that people start, like, they need like the importance of routine in their life, and that they need to have structure. So structure in your life. And then, structure in your magical life. I don't really have one at the moment. But I can definitely see the benefits of it. And it would be great to have a magical routine. Because, the more you're plugging yourself into these currents, the more, you're going to like entrain yourself into the current. You're just naturally going to become acclimated to the current of magic itself. It's not that there's just a one common current. I think that everything has its own particular vibration and frequency, just like every spirit does, and every connection that a person makes with a spirit is a unique connection that is solely theirs and theirs alone. And so I wanted to mention that to you as well. This is from my understanding from working with spirits, not from reading books of anybody else. That's fine too. But that this is something that Lucifer shared with me as well, is that like when this was going into like the mouth of God, and how he was showing me that they connect to you right here, they make a connection to you here energetically. And when they make that bond, then you have a unique connection that creates a unique vibration and frequency that is shared between you and that spirit, uniquely alone. It's just kind of like you and that child had a baby or something. That's all yours and yours alone. And my connection to Lucifer and your connection to Lucifer is an entirely different thing. That could manifest in entirely different ways, in the way that you see him, in the way that you feel his energy, in the way that he communicates to you. All it could be entirely different because my connection to him and your connection to him is it creates a unique vibratory frequency that is not duplicated by anyone else. But yeah, I need a routine. I need structure in my life. I need structure and routine. I get along great, and like I work really well in chaos. And I guess like me being like bipolar. I don't know if I really am actually bipolar or what. I know. I think all these mental illnesses and things are just like mostly spiritual gifts that people don't understand, and we're getting like mislabeled, misdiagnosed because of the craziness that happens, and we're very sensitive to energy and the energy around us, and we respond to it a little bit differently than a lot of regular people. But I think that because of that, it's like having a routine and structure is a little difficult for me. I don't really, but at the same time, like I crave it, and I am certainly more successful when I do have structure and I do have a routine. But it's just so hard for me to establish it. It's so hard for me to stick to it. Um, it's one of those things where my lifestyle affords me the luxury of being the keeper of my own domain as far as my time and energy and everything else goes, resources and everything else. So if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. If I want to be a turd, I can be a turd. And that at the same time, it's can be a double-edged sword, because sometimes it is hard to find the motivation to do something if you don't really have to do it. But yeah, I think it is really, really important to have a good structure for sure. So Lucy Friar Pestle says, Anna Banana, I understand, and I strongly disagree with that idea. And Milton knows about the Illuminati, but he is not going to share that with us. Lucy Bean says, I think we all have a common denominator here that we're all a royal blood, Scottish, Welsh, Irish, maybe somewhere in our past. Virginia, the state of America, that road runs deep through the mountains. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I've been in Virginia forever, and Virginia is awesome. I love Virginia. Utah is beautiful too. We're gonna go to Utah soon, but I do love Virginia, and yeah, I mean it's quite possible that all of us witchy people all share some type of common bloodline. I mean, because like most people too that you talk to in the occult or that are interested in magic and stuff, like most of them were interested in paranormal things, and they were a little interested in ghosts, interested in UFOs, interested in the Bermuda Triangle, all that kind of stuff. And I was like that, like crazy. Sarah was like that, like crazy. Like a lot of people I've known, like definitely shared a lot of common things growing up, interest-wise and what have you. That like it just developed into an interest in a somewhat darker spirituality. But I guess that's really just a matter of like perspective too, though, right? I guess like is it really? I guess it's dark. I guess it's dark. But so we've been. Friar and Pestle's grandparents are all Appalachian. Cool. Oh, thanks, Jeff. I like being right on. And so something I wanted to get into, I was going to continue with going over some things in the Atramus Peritus Libri, the Dark Book of Curse, Jinx, and Spell Annihilation. This book that we were going over the other day. So I wanted to get back into that because I think it's just really awesome. And I think the information in here is really cool. And so, just so that we remember where we left off last time on this, so basically, this book is about neutralizing curses, jinxes, and spell work. And so, I want to like go through to kind of like summarize. I'm going to do like a quick summary of where we left off last time, just to kind of give some people some context here for what we're going to move into now. But this is not like I look so weird with my head chopped off. Maybe I can like move up closer and stuff. Or I don't know. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what I look like, does it? Yeah, fuck it. Okay. Yeah, I'll show the book again. It looks like this. And I still have to put the ISBN number in the description of the other video. I'll do it here too. I'll try to get a close up of the ISBN. It's probably backwards though, isn't it? Well, that's what it looks like. It's on Amazon, I think. So it's by Dr. Robert Inge or Ing, I-N-G, Robert Inge. Well, yeah, it's going to be backwards for you. But, you know, it's certainly like, just, you know, like if you're like me, like I don't really like to go around cursing people. And I just think a lot of people in this path and in this community like to just be so freaking curse happy and just like jump to cursing people right away. And it's just crazy. But am I going to say that I've never done it before in my life? No. Am I going to say that I'll never do it again? No. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not, you know, like that for me is like a nuclear missile. You know, it's something that you have as a deterrent, but it's just not something that you just go around unleashing Randy Pandy, you know, like that's just my take on it. But it's good to know how to defend yourself against these things, and it's good to like understand these things too, even if it's not something that you want to involve yourself in. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of chapter 2 to talk about, just so that everybody is on the same page as far as like the lingo. I need to go get my puff bar real quick though, because man, I'm trying to cut down. I need some nicotine. Give me a second, okay, guys? So intermission. It's down here somewhere. Okay. Let me check my phone real quick. Oh, let's see what we got here. Give me 1 second, chill. Okay. So, yeah, I've got a little while. I'm going to have to take a shower in a little bit, and because I'm going to see my cousin is in from Texas, and she's like a sister to me, and I haven't seen her in like a long time. And so my mom was putting together a thing at an Italian place, and so we're all going there at 6:30. So in a little bit, but I still have time. Oh wow! Friar Fessel says that Robert Ing apparently has a YouTube channel, The Millionaire Satanist. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I've seen pictures of him. Like he's like an older Oriental gentleman, and he had like some you know 30 years his junior girl, arm candy girlfriend with him and stuff. Looked like they were like he was like wearing a tuxedo, like at some like Hollywood event or something like that. Maybe I don't know. Okay, let's see, Adam. Well, can you read? I don't see it. What question are you asking about? The lust talisman. So I mean, yeah, I mean you can definitely create a lust talisman. And usually for that, like I would probably like if it was going to be out of a stone, I would use like a red agate or a carnelian. Um, Probably a carnelian would be what I would use. But we're going to move into this here. So, a curse, jinx, or spell is generally a method by which a supernatural or magical power is used to inflict or place strong influence upon a living entity, a human or a beast, etc., whose free will would not ordinarily have them knowingly choose or accept such a condition. While there are many definitions of a curse, jinx, and spell, here is a few just to kind of so we're all on the same page. A curse, also known as an execration, is a long term magical working dedicated towards a specific task or outcome. A jinx is a short term magical working of a general nature or purpose that will expire over a set period of time or upon a specific event or action. A spell would be a very specific magical working that will end when the task is completed. One person's pleasure may be another person's displeasure. On the matter of curses, jinx, and spells, whether done for one's own good or simply in the pursuit of magical justice, the object or victim of the working may take solace in knowing that something can be done to destroy and neutralize that which plagues them as a result of this action. So this book is not one of revenge or payback, but one of defense against those who would use magic against you. So removal or neutralization. One very important point to be stressed is that in the removal or neutralization of a curse, jinx, or spell, many lay people or novice occult practitioners are led to believe that the cleansing, we went over this. We don't want to go over this again. Just talking about unscrupulous practitioners. And they're out there. We know they're out there. And stay away from them. Just use your intuition. You all have it. If you feel it right here, if something tells you to stay away and you feel it right here, then stay away. Like that's the best advice that I can give you. But so we're talking about the use of similars, the use of sympathetics, and the use of thought forms. Okay, so a similar, the use of similars would be considered a low-level working when it comes to the amount of power focused towards the animation of the curse, jinx, or spell. However, do not discount this method as one of little or no consequence, as similars have been used in workings to bring misfortune, disease, and death for centuries. Similars are used in ritual, spell casting, and workings of both greater and lesser magic. It is through the use of similars that the new novice or neophyte practitioner is initiated into the craft and casts their first spell. The use of similars works in accordance with the universal law that like attracts like. A similar is an object or representation that symbolizes an individual thing, condition, characteristic, emotion, or trait. Examples of similars would be the name of the person, place or thing written on a piece of paper, a sign, a symbol, a sigil, a photograph or a sketch, an item, model, or another object that is a representation of the person, place, or thing. but a part of its visual appearance has no other similarity. Examples of similars for most people would be the sacrament of wine and bread offered at a Christian church, representing the blood and body of Christ, or a lucky rabbit's foot, or a horseshoe, an amulet. And then it goes on to sympathetics. So the sympathetic is considered to be the foundation methodology or bedrock of the art of spellcasting. Through popular writing and the media, the sympathetic that most often comes to mind is the poppet or voodoo doll from Santeria or voodoo or Vodun. The traditional poppet is a representation of a person made as a cloth doll or formed in clay, and within its ingredients or composition has the following: hair, nail clippings, or other personal items, or a personal artifact of the intended target. So, the use of sympathetics work in accordance to two universal laws. Firstly, that an object that has come into physical contact or was once a physical part of a person or thing shares an infinite connection with the person or thing in all three realms of existence, which is spiritual, intellectual, and physical. Secondly, that an object that has been in physical proximity with a person or thing undergoes changes within itself and affects a sympathetic change within the external entity. Sympathetics provide a very strong connection to their target and must be isolated from coming into contact with any other object. Examples of sympathetics would be an item containing personal items that had come into contact with the target, or as personal ingredients of cloth. Or it has containing personal items that they come into contact with the target, or is the actual item. That's what I wanted to say, or is the actual item. Common sympathetics containing such personal ingredients are cloth or clay poppets, statuary, and talismans. And then it gets to the last one, the use of thought forms. So the use of thought forms is the single most powerful method of spellcasting and invocation. However, there are very few practitioners, left or right, capable of executing this method successfully. So with thought forms, talking about basically magic on command, just by using your mind alone. The use of thought forms requires a fundamental three-phase process on the part of the practitioner. The first phase involves entering a state of visualization, where the intended situation is clearly visualized. The second phase involves commanding and focusing the energy, raising it to make the visualization reality. The third phase involves dispatching the energy and closing the void left by the visualization and energy. So depending on the task at hand, this three-phase process may be executed in a matter of minutes or hours. A practitioner competent in the use of thought forms requires no physical similars or sympathetics, no ritual or invocation, for all is created, controlled, and commanded through thought. The ability to fully command and use a thought form cannot be taught or practiced until mastered, but lies inherent within an individual from birth. Wow. So now I wanted to just jump over. We got into like the use of sympathetics, the use of similars, and the use of thought forms. And then he's going into talking about binding, which binding is very, very important in spell casting and ritual work in general. In order to be cast or to become active and work, all curses, jinx, and spells must be bound. This binding involves connecting the working in all three realms of existence: the spiritual, the intellectual, and the physical. In the use of similars and sympathetics, by the very fact that they are physical objects, they are bound in the physical realm, and by the practitioner mentally associating a person, thing, or quality to the physical object, binds it in the intellectual realm. So let me read that part one more time to you all, okay? So they are bound in the physical realm by the practitioner mentally associating a person, thing, or quality to the physical object, then binds it in the intellectual realm. Therefore, all that has to be done is to bind the working in the spiritual realm. So binding in the spiritual realm is the final phase of spellcasting and is done through ritual. The ritual may involve the burning of candles, incense, calling forth of spirits, things of that nature. Once the ritual is complete, the spell is cast and exists on all three realms to manifest its purpose. The methods involved in the use of similars or sympathetics both require binding. The only method of spell casting that does not require binding for the curse, jinx, or spell to exist on all three realms is that which uses thought forms. At the command of a capable left-hand path practitioner, thought forms utilize highly focused, pure energy, capable of manifesting in all three realms concurrently, and therefore, by their very nature, already exist in a dormant state within these realms. So now you come into a point of, let's say, someone has done some work against you, or that you feel like someone has done some work against you. This is a method that Robert Ing has in here for determining the method used by an adversary. So having discussed and arrived at an understanding as to how a curse, jinx, or spell may be cast, we are now ready to proceed with the process of removing or neutralizing such a working. So the first step is to consider that the method that had been used to cast the working by the adversary. One must ascertain if the adversary would have access to a personal item, and if so, this would definitely indicate the use of a sympathetic. On the other hand, if there were no access to a personal item, perhaps a similar may have been used to cast the working. If the target were themselves well schooled in the craft or had committed a major act against another advanced practitioner, then perhaps a thought form may have been used. It must be stressed and made note that those who can command thought forms are very few, and that any left-hand practitioner capable of doing so will not use such a working or anything on anyone whom is of a lesser adversary or an act that is not considered a capital aggression. Rather, even an advanced left-hand practitioner capable of committing thought forms will use a sympathetic or similar for the majority of their workings. So even if they have the power to use a thought form, they're probably going to be using a sympathetic of some sort anyhow. There's not too many workings if it involves another person that I'm not using, usually going to be using a sympathetic of some sort. There's been cases where I've used similars, but usually it's going to be a sympathetic. And I'm sure for most of you, that's probably the case as well. Having determined the most likely method used to cast a curse, jinx, or spell, we are then ready to consider the options open to us for the removal or neutralization of our adversary's work. In the event that there is any doubt whether a similar or sympathetic has been used, it is always best to use the method for the sympathetic. And I would definitely say, so Adam, the name of the book that we're using right now is The Dark Book of Curse, Jinx, and Spell Annihilation by Robert Ing. And it looks like this. It's $10 on Amazon. And I'll put some information in there for you as well on it. Okay, so the time to remove or neutralize a curse, jinx, or spell. The times when energy is at its peak in all three realms for the removal or neutralization of curses, jinx, and spells are the periods of the new or dark moon and waning moon. Of course, because when the moon is in the waning phase, that is going to be all about energies that are removing things from your life. And typically to the new moon as well. I use new moon for anything transformative. There are certain rituals that I usually always do on a new or dark moon. But a lot of that too is just by going with my intuition as well. Um, but specific lunar phases or lunar months days are days 1 to 3 and days 26 to 29. These are the times when a working must be done in order to be successful. So we're going to say that again. The specific lunar phase or lunar month days are days 1 to 3 and days 26 to 29. These are the times when a working must be done in order to be successful. It is never advisable to attempt to do a working intended to thwart any curse, jinx, or spell during any other period, as the working may, due to energy inversion, actually increase the power of the very working one is trying to rid oneself of. Forewarned is forearmed. Yeah, that's well said. Okay, so we're getting on to chapter 3 here. Construction of the neutralization or removal ritual. And he has here, belief must be within this ritual chamber. Disbelief must be within the outside world. So before proceeding, the reader is reminded, as a courtesy, that this publication is based on the dark art and written for the left-hand path practitioner. Therefore, this chapter deals with subject matter of invoking, raising, and using powers associated with those dark arts. If you consider yourself a white light or right-hand path magician or a dabbler in the occult, you are strongly advised not to incorporate any of the material discussed in this chapter on a practical level. So he definitely does have his warning there pretty sternly, actually. And so I think it's all of us here are safe to continue. If anybody here is not comfortable, then you can go watch Unsolved Mysteries or something if you want to. So Jeff asked, what's the title of the book? Let me put that in there for you real quick. I will type it for you. There you go. And thank you, Friar Peso, for my website again. Appreciate that, brother. But yes, that is right. By Dr. Roberts, by Robert Ing. Robert Ing. Hey, good to see you too. Nice to see you as well. You're very welcome. So, in order to neutralize a curse, jinx, or a spell, a full ritual must be performed. While there are many books and online sources that are quick to provide a counterspell that can be assembled within a few ingredients or tools, and involving a very general petition that can be recited in less than 5 minutes, one must question what amount of power is raised to neutralize or remove the working of a qualified adversary, let alone the success of such a quick fix. 2/10 of the dark art are that the left-hand path magician must be thorough in all the workings that they execute, and that all magical workings initiated by an ally or adversary must be addressed with respect. In short, this means that the left-hand path magician will always pull out all the stops when it comes to the execution of magical power and will not take any magical working lightly. A ritual or working, as it is referred to, is a complete work of magic for a specific purpose. And so, yeah, like I would never really take anybody or underestimate anybody. I mean, I don't underestimate anybody physically in the physical world. You know, even though I'm a big guy, I'm 6'2" and like 210 pounds, but I don't underestimate anybody, you know, and I know that like any day some little dude could walk up and kick my ass if I wasn't careful, you know. So same thing in magic applies, you know, like you can never really underestimate anybody. Um, what's your question? Oh, is there any books that I know that has great information on thought forms, servitors, and egregores? Not off the top of my head, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not a huge reader, or I didn't used to be a huge reader, but I'm reading a lot more now. But yeah, I'm not the best dude for recommending reading material. So I'm sorry. But so the five components of the construction of a left-hand path ritual for the neutralization or removal of a curse, jinx, or spell are the purification, the invocation, specific casting of the neutralization or removal spell, the reading of the appropriate Enochian keys, and the closing. So he does get into using, I think, two different Enochian keys in here, and he does have that listed in here. I think it is, what is it, 19th and something. It's the 19th key of power. Oh, it's the okay. So it's the vocal keys 9 and 19. The keys used for purging and banishing, and he does have that in here as well. So he has everything listed in here as far as like what you need to do for the first step of purification, which mainly is some candle magic working here, purification that he gets into. Aw, Delphini, thank you for the super chat. You are my number one fan. Thank you, Delphini. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. But he goes into the purification steps. He's got the full invocation in here. The petition. And then he's got the 9th key of purging and banishing. And then it moves on to the 19th key of power, truth, justice, and purging. And it has in here everything that you need to recite, like all of that invocation verbiage is in there. And then it has the closing. So it has everything you need in here as far as like a good ritual goes. Then it has one specifically for if they were using similars. And so this one has similar to a coffin nail banishing petition. And again, too, it has everything listed in here as far as like the implements that you would need, the steps that you need to take. He's very, very thorough in that way. And so he's got it all in here, from thought forms to similars to sympathetics. And here's a really good one right here. And I think this one here, like if any, like I would say like the most common curses that people are going to see is going to be like the evil eye. Like I bet you probably everybody in this chat, everybody that's here has been affected by the evil eye at one point or another in your life. Like someone's been jealous of you. Someone's wanted to like knock you down off of your pedestal, knock you down a few rungs. And this is something that like, that like even kids can be affected by. Like people can like hate on your kids and be like jealous of your kids and like the evil eye, I would say, like is very, very so the evil eye is just like really like the spirit of jealousy, so to speak. And so when people are like jealous of you and they have that spirit of jealousy in them to where like when they see you, they're just like, oh, I would just love to see you like knock down a few notches. Like, oh, I can't stand to see your success. Oh, I can't stand to like see how beautiful you are. Oh, I can't, like really just jealous of any type of happiness, success, or good things that you have. So we're going to get into that one. This is a really, really good ritual information to have, I think, because a lot of people are going to deal with this. But I need to go get a recharged alto thingy. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Hi, everybody. Hey, El the Alchemist. What's up? What's up, Mr. Smorticia? So here's the book. The book this is what it looks like. But it's called Atrumus Parites Libri, and it's the Dark Book of Curse, Jinx, and Spell Annihilation by Robert Ing. So we're going over that, and so in chapter 7, he gets into a petition to banish the evil eye or the eye of envy. Especially any of you YouTubers out there, or even just in general, people on Facebook. I mean, really, this would apply to all of us because anybody that's a social person, you're going to run into other people that are going to like have this, that are going to like be doing this. So the evil eye, also known as the eye of envy, is typically cast unsuspectingly by an individual who, upon seeing the success or attention of another, is envious or jealous of them, and as a result, on a subconscious level, despises their good fortune. And so that is another point. Like, this is the kind of thing too that like happens with people like that they don't even really realize that they're going to like harm you by feeling this way, by having these like intrusive thoughts about you. So it's not really necessarily like this is something that like somebody is like setting out to like put on you, but it just inadvertently by these natural processes to the subconscious mind can manifest in this way. It can get put on a person and manifest. But it has, as a result of this, the eye is unique and differs from the curses, jinxes, and spells we have discussed in previous chapters. Traditionally, protection against the eye can be had by either hanging a painting or ornament of a single blue eye, which I do have one of those. I have it hanging in my living room downstairs, and y'all have probably seen the protection against the evil eye, which is it's like a blue eye type of deal. Or wearing jewelry that has one or more blue eyes, or a blue-white concentric circle in the form of beads, or a single blue eye pendant. An alternative has been to hang a mirror facing the entrance, or to wear mirrored beads or a mirrored pendant. Either way, the eye, the blue-white concentric circles, and mirrors disrupt and redirect the gaze of the cursed eye, so that it will have no effect on the unintentional victim. There you go. There you go, Friar Pestle. So that's, if everybody looks in the chat right now, that is the exact example of that blue eye right there. Thank you. And it says, however, should the eye be cast, so like if somebody actually puts this on you purposefully, the ritual prescribed in chapter 3 with this petition inserted at the appropriate place within the ritual will neutralize the eye that has been cast. So this one here is for like the unintentional evil eye. And so it goes into everything that you're going to need here. You got one small dark blue candle, 2 cones of dragon's blood incense, 1 cone of frankincense, St. John's wort sage calamus, a 9-inch length of red cord or string, a white hilted knife. I'm sure any kind of knife would be okay. A small bowl of salt, a small bowl of distilled water, a clear glass plate, a lemon, and then a 3-inch by 3-inch black, dark blue, or white drawstring bag, kind of like one that you would use for like a mojo bag or medicine bag or something. And it goes into the preparation here. And it looks like this is kind of like you put this thing together. You kind of put like a mojo bag together and you let it sit for 9 days. And on the 9th day, it has a ritual that you would perform. And with this, he's calling to, I like this, he's calling to Belial on this one, and Lucifer. And it says, by the infernal power of Belial and the salt of the earth, I return you to from whence you came. And so he's got some of the more of like, he's got more of the, he's got some different key. These are different things he's going into here. What is this? Yeah, I think that here, these are just some other invocations for different things. It looks like that he's just like included in this. But this book, though, overall, I really, really highly recommend it. This, I would say, should be in everybody's toolbox or bookshelf. I mean, these are all things that I'm sure that, you know, everybody has their way of removing curses, jinxes, and spell work. You know, and I've had some pretty basic things that I've done over the years to do that, but I had never gotten into it as detailed as he has in this. And this is something that I'm definitely going to be using in the future. All of these rituals. You know, they're definitely very straightforward and to the point. And of course, you know, you can write your own rituals. And you know, for some things too, and like myself included, Like JS has been my go-to guy for me personally over the years. So even a sorcerer that regularly does spell work and ritual work for other people on a regular basis. Even I have other sorcerers do things for me, and that's the way it goes. You can do it all yourself, absolutely, but there are times too when it's great to to have some people that are not too close to the situation to take over the magical operation for you. It's wonderful. I highly recommend it. When you've got a competent person that can do this stuff for you. And I mean, all of us here are competent magicians. Whether you realize it or not, or know it or not, maybe it's something that you have been hesitant to claim ownership of. I know I was for the longest time. And I will say, like, that's one of the biggest things. Someone asked me in the chat earlier what I would say. I think, like, what advice would I give them to have like to have their magic work for them consistently, to have it work for them and to have it work for them consistently. And I would say that one of the biggest things is is the taking ownership of your magic and getting out of your own way. And like, what do I mean by that? I mean by like allowing yourself to know that you are powerful, allowing yourself to know that you're capable, allowing yourself to know that you have what it takes to perform these rituals, to communicate with these spirits, that there really isn't anyone else out there that has anything that you don't have within you. So that's going to be one of the biggest things, is just to kind of like realize that and to know that, and then to then take ownership of it and apply it. Because like, it's fine. It's one thing to like have this information and to like know this stuff, but it's another thing entirely to apply it in a practical way and start using it to make changes in your life. And if you're on the fence and you've just been thinking about it, maybe it's time that you try it and do it and like see for yourself, whether it's real or not, or whether this is bull crap or not. I will tell you, there's definitely something to it. For sure, without a doubt. I'm living proof. Y'all are living proof. There's plenty of living proof out there everywhere. If you just know where to look and like what lens to filter to be viewing things through, it's all there, written all over the place, everywhere you go. So yeah, so I am probably, I guess, gonna roll out because I gotta hop in the shower and get all ready and find some clothes. I don't even know what I'm gonna wear yet. I don't know what. I'm probably just gonna wear like a black button-up collared shirt and some jeans, and I will apply my favorite fragrance so that I will smell good and go see me family and have a good time there. And I have to finish my kids' trampoline. I got the trampoline together. We just have to finish putting the side netting up, the protective netting thingy. So I got to do that before tomorrow at 3:30. But that shouldn't take too long. So bye, everybody. I love you so much. And thank you all. Thank you, Delphini, so much for the super chat once again, darling. You're the sweetest. Thanks to everybody. And I love you so much. And we'll see you soon. And I'll be back soon. Probably before you know it, because I want to be super regular on here. And I'm going to be reading some more books too in the meantime. So we'll have some more things to discuss there as well. So thanks, y'all. Love ya. See ya. Smell my face. Smell it good. Bye. Love you. See ya.